Trump's rambly campaign got a little gift while we were off because right after the DNC, RFK Jr. suspended his presidential campaign and endorsed the former president, which means this Thanksgiving, your crazy uncle and your racist uncle will have plenty to bond over.
Welcome back. Allies of Vice President Kamala Harris have kicked off a national bus tour starting on Donald Trump's home turf in Florida. The tour, which will focus on reproductive rights, began yesterday with a stop in Palm Beach. It heads to Jacksonville today with at least 50 stops planned in key states throughout the fall. Joining us now, the Democratic nominee for U.S. Senate in Florida, former Congresswoman Debbie Mucarsel-Powell. She spoke at yesterday's event. I want to hear about your campaign and whether or not you'll get to debate your opponent. But my big question is, how was this bus tour received in Palm Beach County, Florida? Was there a crowd? Were they open to the message?
Good morning, Mika. Good morning, everyone. Oh, my goodness. I mean, everything that you've been seeing in all the rallies that have been held by the vice president, it was the same exact thing. The energy was electric. That room was packed with women that have really just had enough of all the attacks against our rights here in the state of Florida. As you know, Mika, we are now living under one of the most extreme bans on abortion, a 6-week ban that Rick Scott fully supports. I mean, he has been proudly saying that he supports the 6-week ban, a ban that has hardly any exceptions to rape and incest. And so people in the state of Florida have been organizing now for more than a year. And this was just a pivotal moment where the vice president and the Harris campaign is sending a message. Florida is in play. What we have been organizing in our state was shown yesterday, and it will continue to grow before November. And so I need everyone watching. I need everyone with me because I'm running up against one of the most extreme senators that cannot get reelected. Because if he does, even if we pass Amendment 4, he will push for a national abortion ban. So I need everyone going to my website, contributing, joining the campaign, debbieforflorida.com.
So, if I may, can we talk more about that 6-week ban? What are the results of that? Because Florida has been able to experience it for quite some time now. So there are consequences and there are things that have happened because of the 6-week ban that will continue to happen to women in Florida, traumatizing the families who love them. Can you explain what a 6-week ban does to the health care of a woman who lives in the state of Florida?
Yes, you know, we have been hearing more and more stories that have been coming out. This 6-week ban went into effect May 1st. Yesterday at the rally, Anya Cook spoke about her experience where she was turned away by a doctor. Her pregnancy was not developing. The fetus was not developing. She was sent home. And the next day, at a bathroom, at a salon, she had a miscarriage and lost half of her blood. She almost died because of it, and she almost lost her reproductive organs. And just recently, a few weeks ago, we heard of a very similar story in Miami. This is happening in the United States of America. This is happening in our own state, where women are forced to leave the state to get this reproductive health care. And Mika, you know that this is central not only to our health care, it is central to our dignity. This should be a decision that is made between a woman, her doctor, her family, her faith. In Latin America, as you know, my mother brought me and my sisters here from Latin America, and we have seen laws being passed to protect abortion rights, because we have seen that there's a rise of violence against women when you have these extreme bans on abortion and also high rates of maternal mortality. And of course, the rates of maternal mortality are highest among Black women and Latina women.
Congresswoman, good morning. Good to have you on the show. I want to ask you about the charge. You mentioned your own upbringing, immigrating to the United States with your family fleeing dictatorship. The charge that we keep hearing from Senator Scott and his campaign, that you, and they lump in Vice President Harris as well, are somehow socialist, that you want price controls on groceries, something that Vice President Harris has talked about, saying that you want amnesty for illegal immigrants. If you could address the immigration question. First of all, he's even charged that you want to let illegal immigrants vote in the election, which of course is against the law. So if you can just address the charge that you are somehow, a serious charge in Florida, as I don't need to tell you, are somehow in league with socialists.
Look, it's completely false. I mean, Rick Scott has absolutely nothing but to spread disinformation. He is one of the most extreme senators that we have in the Senate right now. And Rick Scott has no idea what it's like for people like my family that had to grow up under a military dictatorship. I have family living in Venezuela. I have very good friends that are in Venezuela. He has no idea what it's like to fight for freedom and democracy. And he's using this pain, this attack, this false attack, to try and score political points. And he's insulting the legacy of my mother, of Latinos that have left socialist dictatorships. And if he wants to talk about the border, let me just say a couple of things here. He had the opportunity, not once, but twice, to vote for a border bill that I would have voted for, that was sponsored and endorsed by Customs and Border Patrol, that would have provided significant funding for our border. We must protect our border, but we must have the courage to sit down at the table with Republicans, Democrats, whoever wants to deal with the issue that we have at the border, to make sure that we provide legal pathways. That's what Republican business owners here in the state of Florida have asked me to do. It's one of the things that we were trying to do when I was in the House of Representatives. And look, if he wants to debate the issue of socialism, if he wants to debate the issue of the border, just this morning, we released our acceptances to 3 different debates. And what I would love to do is have a debate in Spanish, because he has been targeting Latino communities, misinforming them, which is really dangerous for our communities. And so I would love for Rick Scott to have the courage to stand next to me at the debate stage, and let's do it in English and in Spanish.
Democratic nominee for Senate in Florida, former Congresswoman Debbie Mucarsel Powell, thank you very much for coming on the show this morning.
Thank you,
We really
Nika.
appreciate it.